Shalom, shalom. With the real Hebrew Israelites come to you week in, week out, prophecy, and the return of the Most High and Seventh. And all praises and honor to YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, double honors to the apostles of New York, great Muslim GMS, and to all out on the planet, lifting up the name Yahawah, Yahawashi, and truth to sincerity. Shalom to Aquas, obedient to Yahawah, Yahawashi, and their husbands. All right. Let me go ahead and slide that in there real quick. All right. Revelations 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Right? He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. So, as you see in the title, this is a solid proof FEMA camps are becoming planet-wide. I'm going to show you some evidence from Canada's, congressional hearings or whatever. Or, people in China wanted for the premier or whatever the hell they call them, and asking about these FEMA camps, and he got shut down and told to take his seat after they try to give a decent explanation, try to sweep it under the rug. I'm gonna let the whole thing play. This is gonna be real quick. I'm gonna let the whole thing play. Y'all wrote his eye. And then just hit a scripture too. That's it. All right. But this is an example of Esau telling on himself and exposing his true intentions and making it public. All right. And Jake just silly don't pay attention.
Next question. The member for Lanark, Frontenac, Kingston.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. In my supplemental question yesterday, I asked this government if the people of Ontario should prepare for internment camps. In September, the federal government posted a call for expressions of interest for contractors to supply, provide, and manage quarantine isolation camps throughout every province and every territory in Canada. These quarantine isolation camps, however, are not limited to people with COVID, but provide a wide latitude for many people to be detained. Surely this government is aware of the intentions to build these isolation camps from coast to coast. And my question to the Premier is, how many of these camps will be built? And how many people does this government expect to detain?
Okay. Now they're going to try to shut him down by basically saying, now he said, the whole point was, this is not just stuff you did to COVID. You said in the language in this bill that a lot of people might be able to go to camps, and it's not specifically just if you was COVID. So he was asking why and what and how, and they're gonna answer him COVID, and he's come back and reiterate it, and then they're gonna say, nigga, just sit down. All right. Let's see what the definition of internment camp means. All right, a prison camp for the confinement of prisoners of war, enemy aliens, political prisoners, etc. See, now hear that? It could be anybody who's just against the government, anybody who speaks out. If anybody just decide, I just want to go put your ass in chains. A concentration camp for civilian citizens, especially those with ties to an enemy during wartime, and the enemy is anybody who's against their system, as the camps established by the United States government to detain the Japanese Americans after the Pearl Harbor attacks. And they give you an example, but those FEMA camps, all right, FEMA camps are everywhere, and we did lessons on FEMA camps so long. There's been FEMA camps in U.S. Hey, and there are FEMA camps all over. Oh, it's a conspiracy theory looking at, but then you'll see them all over. All right, empty, ready for people that got mass graves. And look, here go your FEMA camps in America, all the hell over. All right, and FEMA, they don't even hide this. So, but but it's a conspiracy theory looking at. Believe what you want, all right? But let's play a little bit more.
Next speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is very true that when people leave the country and when they come back in, that the province is suggesting, and the federal government, in cooperation with the federal government, we're suggesting that people isolate themselves. That has been a practice that has been very successful, not only here in the province of Ontario, but across.
No, he asked specific about not only COVID and quarantining yourself. He said, no, besides that. But this is their answer, and watch they're going to applaud and maybe hopefully say, nigga, to shut up and hope you don't come back up.
Across Canada, and we will, of course, be redoubling our efforts to make sure that the people of the province of Ontario remain safe, Mr. Speaker. So if the member is referring to the fact that that one of the public health policies is that when you return from a jurisdiction outside of the province of Ontario or from another country, that you isolate yourself for 2 weeks, I would suggest that has been a good policy that's been working. In fact, this House has been doing the same thing since we came back. We are working in cohorts to make sure that the Legislative Assembly can continue to operate. That's why we have 2 separate cohorts, Mr. Speaker. Responsible operation of the official opposition. That is why all members of the Independents have been excluded from that cohort, because we want them to be able to participate in debate. So we'll continue to do everything in our power to make sure that this House continues, but that the people of the province of Ontario and Canada are kept safe.
Supplementary question. Being thanks to the Premier. Here's the RFP, and in the RFP, it uses clear language to express that these camps can be used for a broad spectrum of people, not limited to travelers. Indeed, it.
See, when Esau opened up his mouth and telling her, he's like, wait a minute. This is not just COVID. You gave a broad spectrum. I give you the language you want.
Doesn't even mention international travelers. It's just a broad latitude of people. And I'll send over the copy of the RFP after. So your government must be in negotiations and aware of these plans to potentially detain and isolate citizens and residents of our country, in our province. So, Speaker, to the Premier, where will these camps be built? How many people will be detained? And for what reasons? For what reasons can people be kept in these isolation camps? And I'd like to have the Premier assure the people of Ontario.
Member, take a seat.
So they cut his mic. He was still speaking. Hold on. He was still speaking. No, let's see. Stop. He was still speaking. God damn it. Right, yeah. He was still speaking, and they cut his mic, and the main speaker or the house or the head nigga got up and said, "Sit the fuck down." That was the translation. Remember, take a seat.
And I'd like to have the Premier assure the people of Ontario.
Member, take a seat.
So they cut his mic. Duke had stood up and said, "You just sit down."
I'd like to have the Premier assure the people of Ontario.
Member, take a seat.
Moving on.
The next question. The next question.
That's how Esau deal. Esau don't want to play with you. He's not gonna play with you. He's just gonna go and shut you down and say, "Moving on. There's nothing to see here." But really, what this was is Satan's tongue falling upon himself. All right. This is one of the reasons why Esau is going to complain of an ungodly father. All right. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that. Ungodly. And I think this is. It's Esau. He tricking off on himself. Like, yeah, this is an apocrypha, I thought so. Let me see. I'll pull up the Psalms. Tongue fall upon himself, because this is beautiful. All right. Psalms 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. all the ones that are finding out and seeing Esau expose himself by tricking off on himself, we flee into YAHAWASHI, man. All right, the scripture says we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. This is and what the FEMA camps is one of Satan's devices. And Lord says we're not ignorant to them. All right, but that's an example of Esau's tongue falling upon themselves. All right, he's telling off that these FEMA camps will be built, these prison houses will be built. All right, and this is the Lord said that Satan's going to come down to us in great wrath. All right, because he knows he has but a short time. All right, Revelations 12:12. All right, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right. He knows that his kingdom is fallen, that his time is about done. You know that in the Oscar speech, when it gets a little bit too long, the music starts and it starts increasing a little until they know, okay, it's time to be done. Well, the music started playing. The fat lady singing. It's done. All right. She just started. All right, but it's about to be done. Okay. All right. Let me go get that in the pocket. I'm gonna wrap it up. Like I said, I didn't want this to be long. But it should complain of ungodly father, man. Let's see. Because Esau has been falling under Esau's own bullshit. Sirach 41:7. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. Esau elect of Esau, the super wicked of existence. All right, they have been not only miseducating the Israelites, who their transgressions in their education and wisdom of Solomon is directed to, but their own people are believing the bullshit, and the heathens as well. So they're going to be like, oh, I don't know, I was suffering because they in Russia. Yeah, but you've been rejoicing and partaking in all the benefits of it too. And you haven't been speaking against them. So yes, you will be reproached for not only his sake, but for your sake too. Because you're wicked as well. All right. That's why verse 8 says, woe be unto you, ungodly men, all you Edomites and heathens, which have forsaken the law of the Most High. For if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction. We already know they increase, and they have everything. And if the Israelites who followed them, woe to you who receive your consolation. All right. But just want to show that Esau was tricking off on himself and set him down real quick. All right. He said, yeah, you said this is
these plans to potentially detain and isolate citizens and residents of our country, in our province. So, Speaker, to the Premier, where will these camps be built? How many people will be detained?
But this is a conspiracy theory.
And for what reasons? For what reasons can people be kept in these isolation camps? And I'd like to have the Premier assure the people of Ontario.
Member, take a seat.
Moving on.
The next question.
All right, so I hope this has been edifying to the spirit of prayer. YAHAWASHI, all praises and honor glory. YAHAWASHI, the apostles on the earth, great millstone, GMS, honors to all occupants on the planet. Let that the name of Yahweh, Yahweh shine, truth and sincerity.